Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a quick video on a diffuser that has an intermittently bad fan. It typically, it was making a lot of noise, and now all of a sudden it's just sort of loud, but it was squealing and whining, and it had low output, so it had trouble getting started. Hey everyone, so I thought I'd do a live video, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and replace the fan and show some examples of what bad fans look like and what they may sound like. I was hoping this would be louder. It isn't too bad, but we'll see how quiet a new fan will be in here in a second. Here are some examples of fans that I have removed in the past, and just the amount of gook that gets on them. And you know, you're blowing that around in your home, and it's a good idea to check the fan if you can. Here's one that's not too bad, but had to be replaced nonetheless. So let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and we'll see what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off and set it aside. Disconnect the power. Pour out the water. And let's see, I have a little bit of a mess. Try to keep this workspace clean. Alright, I'll put the water aside, and I'm going to start by removing the two bottom screws here. In this case I think I may have, oh, they're loose already. Okay, good. Okay. Here's one. Is the second screw in there? Maybe. So, separate the two halves. Second screw is in there. And you know what? That's a good place for it. I won't lose it. Now I'm going to disconnect the disc and the lights. Be sure you remember where these go. If not, you can look at one of our videos and backtrack to see where everything plugs in. But typically the lights plug in on the side and the power's on the other side. And there's a couple of different versions of this board. Some are covered in white, some are like this. In those cases, the disc plugs in underneath back here. Sometimes it's on the top, but it's always on this back side. But double check with the video and take a screenshot. Print it out before you take it apart so you know where everything goes. The next thing I'm going to do is remove these two screws on the bottom, and that will allow me to access the fan. Hi, Jana. So I'm going to unplug. This just makes it easier. You can probably work with this with the wires connected, but unplugging the switch makes it a little bit easier. And here's the fan. There's a little bit of dust in here. To unplug it, here's the plug for it. We're just going to remove that, and we have the old fan out. And I think that's seen better days. I was hoping it was going to make a lot more noise for you, but right now it's just, you know, they come and go. It depends. Sometimes they'll squeal and make a lot of noise right in the beginning when you turn them on. Sometimes they'll get quieter. Sometimes they'll run quiet and then get louder later on. And if they don't run fast enough, the fan does two things. It blows the mist out of the diffuser. So it's responsible for blowing the mist into the room. The second thing it does is, see all this aluminum here, all these heat sinks, this heat sink? The fan is right underneath it, and it's meant to cool that off. If the fan isn't working correctly and it can't cool this off, then you'll have the machine can shut down, or you'll have reduced output because this is getting way too hot. So let me get a new fan, and we'll go ahead and install it. The first thing I want to do is just plug it in. There we go. And the next thing is make sure that the label is facing up or towards into the diffuser. That means the airflow is going this way. And then we want to go ahead and set this down in the unit. Make sure it's sitting flush, and then we'll go ahead and install the screws. Right, here's the other one. Thought I lost one. Okay, so that's tight. The next thing we want to do is put our fingers in here and get the button, the switch assembly plugged back in. I don't know if you can see in there, but you'll hear a little snap when that goes in. Click. All right, and so now that's it. The fan's installed. We're just going to go ahead and put the top back on. And the first thing we want to do is connect our wires. So the LED lighting goes in the side here. Oops. You hear click. There we go. And then the ultrasonic disc plugs in here. Click. And boy, did that come loose. We'll see what happens. Looks like that may have come loose. All right. Put some water in. And we'll give it a test. We need power. A lot of times people put a new disc in, they're so excited to test it out that they forget to put water in, and it still just flashes. So that's a question that we get a lot. No, don't forget to put water in your diffuser before you go ahead and test it out. Okay, so here's what happened. The connector for that ultrasonic disc just came loose. Yep. So this is live, folks. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and solder this back on real quick, and then we'll plug it in and test it. Soldering iron's heating up right now. It should only take a second, and then we'll test this out. I'll be back in one moment. Let's see if that did it. Where's the microphone? Okay. Let's see if that did it. Alright, the LEDs are in. Okay. This is a pretty old diffuser. I think it's got a couple miles on it. But where did I put the top? Here it is. Alright. Now let's give it a test. Okay. Perfect. So it's going to take a minute for a brand new fan to come up to speed. When they're brand new, the oil in the bearings it takes a second for it to seat, and then it'll actually speed up a little bit. But I don't know if you can hear it, how quiet that is. It's really quiet, has great output, and with a new disc and a new fan, it's pretty much like a brand new diffuser. This one could be a little bit cleaned up, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. This will run for quite a good while. So if you have any questions, you can contact us at support@DiffuserDoc.com or directly on our webpage. If you can, like our page, check us out on YouTube. There are a lot of other great videos on YouTube to look at, and if you need help with parts or have any questions, go ahead and reach out. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone's well.